What if the answer you've been searching for has been quietly waiting inside you all along? Not in the noise around you, not in the comparisons, not in the approval of others, but within the silent, untouched center of your own being. Every one of us, at some point, begins to look outward for meaning. We chase accomplishments, attention, relationships, validation. We work harder, try more, strive further, believing that something out there. But the truth is simple. Transformation begins the moment you return your attention to yourself. To focus on yourself is not selfish, it is sacred. It is the conscious decision to reclaim your energy, your time, your thoughts, and your dreams from everything that has distracted you from your center. You were never meant to compete with the world. You were meant to awaken your world from within. This book is a gentle but unflinching guide back to that center. You will learn how to direct your attention inward, how to harness the immense power of your subconscious mind, and how to realign with your true nature. You will realize that focusing on yourself is not a retreat, it is a return. It is not about exclusion, but about expansion. You grow yourself so that all things around you can grow. You master yourself so that everything you touch becomes elevated. This journey is not linear, it is not quick, but it is real. And the results are unmistakable. Greater peace, clearer decisions, lasting fulfillment, and an unwavering sense of inner power. So, if you are tired of feeling scattered, if you are ready to stop asking the world for permission to be whole, then this book is for you. Each chapter will walk you deeper into your own mind, your own habits, your own power. We will strip away the layers that have blurred your vision so you can see yourself again, fully, clearly, and without shame. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken, you are simply out of focus. And this is your time to return. Let us begin. Chapter 1. Silencing the noise, the first step inward. Before you can focus on yourself, you must first learn to quiet the world. This does not mean you abandon life. It does not mean running away from your responsibilities. It means creating a sacred boundary between what belongs to you and what doesn't. It means reclaiming your mind from the relentless noise of modern existence, the voices of others, the expectations, the fears, the comparisons, and the illusions. Your transformation begins with stillness, and stillness is not passive, it is powerful. Let us begin with a truth that may feel foreign at first. You were not designed to carry everything. You were not built to process thousands of opinions a day. You were not meant to measure your worth by social approval. Your nervous system was never meant to be constantly on, reacting to endless, meaningless stimuli. And yet, we have grown so used to the noise that we forget there is another way to live, quieter, slower, clearer. Ask yourself now, when was the last time you were fully present with your own thoughts? not judging them, not fixing them, not escaping them, but simply being with them. Can you remember a time when you listened inward more than you reacted outward? Most people live from the outside in. We are fed by notifications, headlines, comment sections, endless scrolling. Our emotions are triggered, not by what we believe, but by what we absorb. It's easy to confuse consumption with connection, but the more you consume the world, the less of yourself you truly know. The first barrier to deep inner focus is external overstimulation. We are constantly stimulated by media, by others' lives, by what we think we should be doing, thinking, or becoming. This noise becomes so normal that silence feels uncomfortable. But silence is where power is born. In silence, the subconscious mind becomes audible. If you cannot sit with yourself in quiet, how can you ever expect to know what you truly want? It is time to detox, not from people, not from work, not even from society, but from the compulsive need to always be plugged in. Turn off the world. Come back to yourself. You are not what you hear. To focus on yourself, you must stop confusing your identity with what the world reflects back at you. The opinions of others are just that, reflections, not truths. Most of them are shaped by their own fears, their own stories, their own projections, and yet we absorb them, carry them, and let them define us. You do not need approval to exist. You do not need applause to grow. You do not need agreement to evolve. What you need is alignment. Alignment with your own voice, your own rhythm, your own intuition. You cannot hear this voice through the noise of constant comparison or critique. You must learn to separate signal from static. Spiritual teachers across cultures have emphasized the power of withdrawing from the world, not to escape it, but to master it. The retreat is not weakness. It is strategic. When you go inward, you are not giving up. You are tuning in. This is not about becoming a hermit. It is about becoming sovereign. Create space in your life each day where no one else's voice can enter. Not the phone, not the inbox, not the expectations of others. Just you, alone, clear, undistracted. You may feel restless at first. That's normal. It's not silence you fear. It's what you might hear in the silence. But trust this. What arises is not there to shame you. It is there to heal you. Stillness reveals what noise conceals. Most people do not lack motivation. They lack focus. And focus is not something you either have or don't have. It is something you build like a muscle. At first, it feels weak. You get distracted. You drift. But with time, with patience, with repetition, you gain strength. To train this muscle, begin with simple acts. Begin your day without immediately reaching for your phone. Sit for 10 minutes in silence, simply observing your breath. Write your thoughts without editing or filtering them. Choose one task to do with complete presence, without multitasking. These are not grand gestures. They are subtle, powerful acts of return. Every time you choose stillness over stimulation, presence over distraction, you are returning to yourself. And from this place, everything becomes possible. Think of your mind like a garden. If it is filled with weeds, noise, worry, comparison, your true thoughts cannot grow. But if you clear space, even just a little, clarity emerges. Your subconscious mind begins to speak in images, sensations, intuitive pulls. And if you listen deeply enough, you begin to remember who you are beneath the programming. Let this be the first act of power. Clear space, mentally, emotionally, physically. You cannot build a life of peace on a foundation of noise. Clear your digital life. Clear your emotional obligations that no longer serve you. Clear your physical space. Clear the clutter from your mind. By breathing deeply, by sitting quietly, by watching your thoughts come and go, without grabbing hold of them. In this emptiness, you will find richness. In this silence, you will find answers. In this space, you will meet yourself again. You are not behind. Perhaps you feel late in life. Perhaps you feel you should be further along by now. But the truth is, there is no behind. When you are returning to yourself, every moment of presence realigns you with your own time. Comparison is a thief. It robs you of joy, of clarity, of self-trust. Remember this, the path of deep inner focus is not a race. It is not a competition. It is a return. And everyone returns at the right time. Let go of the need to prove anything to anyone. Your evolution is not a performance. It is a process, and it begins now. To truly focus on yourself, you must do more than just quiet the noise. You must learn how to observe your thoughts, your reactions, your patterns, without judgment. In Chapter 2, we'll explore the sacred art of becoming the observer and how this single shift in perspective can liberate you from patterns that have held you captive for years. Chapter 2, Becoming the Observer. Awareness is the key. Silence prepares the ground, but awareness plants the seed. Once you begin to quiet the outer world, the next step is to become deeply aware of your inner one, not with judgment, not with urgency, but with gentle observation. The act of observing yourself is not passive, it is transformational. You cannot change what you do not first see clearly. You cannot heal what you refuse to look at. To focus on yourself means you must become the watcher of your own thoughts, emotions, and patterns. This is the sacred position of the observer, neutral, calm, curious, not reactive, not entangled, not defensive. From this space, you begin to meet yourself not as an identity or a label, but as a field of awareness. You begin to see your thoughts not as facts, but as passing clouds in the vast sky of your mind. The most powerful question you can ever ask is, who is watching the thought? Do not observe yourself like a critic. Observe like a student, a learner, a gentle guardian. The ego wants to label everything, good or bad, right or wrong, success or failure. But awareness says, this is what is happening, let me see it clearly. If you observe your impatience, don't say, I am failing. Say instead, there is impatience arising. I see it. If you observe jealousy, don't shame yourself. Say, there is the energy of comparison. I notice it. This is not weakness, this is awakening. You are not responsible for every thought that arises, but you are responsible for how long you entertain it. When you learn to watch yourself with compassion instead of condemnation, healing becomes possible. Growth becomes natural. Because nothing can transform in the dark. Everything must be brought to the light of your attention. And awareness is that light. Detaching from the drama. Every thought wants your attention. Every emotion wants your reaction. But you can choose to simply observe, to neither resist nor indulge. And when you do, the drama dissolves. Try this now. Close your eyes. Listen for the next thought. Do not force anything. Just wait. Did you notice? You are not thinking the thought. It is appearing. It comes. It goes. Like a wave. Like a breeze. Like a guest. Entering and leaving a room. You are the space, the watcher, the host. And the more you return to this role, the more peaceful you become. Detachment is not coldness. It is clarity. It is the wisdom to say, this thought is not the truth. This emotion is not my master. This pattern is not permanent. When you detach from the content of the mind, you access its deeper power. And from that power, you begin to reshape your experience. The mirror and the flame. The observer is both a mirror and a flame. A mirror reflects truth without distortion. A flame burns through illusion without effort. When you observe your patterns clearly, you stop blaming others. You stop outsourcing your emotions. You take back your energy from the world and redirect it inward. You see how often you abandon yourself in order to please others. You see how often fear drives your choices. And you do not condemn what you see. You liberate. Do not observe yourself like a critic. Observe like a student, a learner, a gentle guardian. The ego wants to label everything, good or bad, right or wrong, success or failure. But awareness says, this is what is happening, let me see it clearly. If you observe your impatience, don't say, I am failing. Say instead, there is impatience arising. I see it. If you observe jealousy, don't shame yourself. Say, there is the energy of comparison. I notice it. This is not weakness, this is awakening. You are not responsible for every thought that arises, but you are responsible for how long you entertain it. When you learn to watch yourself with compassion instead of condemnation, healing becomes possible. Growth becomes natural. because nothing can transform in the dark. Everything must be brought to the light of your attention, and awareness is that light. Detaching from the drama. Every thought wants your attention. Every emotion wants your reaction. But you can choose to simply observe, to neither resist nor indulge. And when you do, the drama dissolves. Try this now. Close your eyes. Listen for the next thought. Do not force anything. Just wait. Did you notice? You are not thinking the thought. It is appearing. It comes. It goes. Like a wave. Like a breeze. Like a guest entering and leaving a room. You are the space, the watcher, the host. And the more you return to this role, the more peaceful you become. Detachment is not coldness. It is clarity. It is the wisdom to say, this thought is not the truth. This emotion is not my master. This pattern is not permanent. When you detach from the content of the mind, you access its deeper power. And from that power, you begin to reshape your experience. The mirror and the flame. The observer is both a mirror and a flame. A mirror reflects truth without distortion. A flame burns through illusion without effort. When you observe your patterns clearly, you stop blaming others. You stop outsourcing your emotions. You take back your energy from the world and redirect it inward. You see how often you abandon yourself in order to please others. You see how often fear drives your choices. And you do not condemn what you see. You liberate. You bring the mirror to the face of your ego. You bring the flame to the roots of your conditioning. This is not easy, but it is necessary. And once done, it cannot be undone. You cannot unsee what awareness has shown you. And that is how real change begins. Not with effort, but with insight. Your mind is not the enemy. Let us be clear. The mind is not your enemy. It is your servant. But a servant that has run wild will not return to order with force. It will return through presence. When you observe your mind without fear, it begins to calm. When you stop reacting to every thought, the mind becomes still. When you look clearly, it begins to cooperate. And then the subconscious opens. It is behind the noise. It is beneath the pattern. It is quiet, but it is always listening. And when your awareness is stable enough, it will begin to reveal its secrets, its fears, its dreams, its stories, and more importantly, its potential. This is where we are headed, not just to observe, but to reprogram. But first, you must see, fully, freely, without shame. Observation leads to liberation. You are now learning to witness your own mind. But awareness alone is not enough. You must train it. You must sharpen it. In Chapter 3, we'll enter the realm of mental discipline, where you'll learn how to take command of your focus and begin the lifelong training of your inner art.
Chapter 3.
Mental discipline. Training your inner eye awareness opens the door. Discipline walks you through it. You have begun to observe your thoughts. You are learning to detach from the automatic reactions of the mind. But now comes a deeper task. You must learn to train your focus, because without discipline, awareness flickers. Without discipline, the old patterns return. Mental discipline is not rigidity. It is not harsh control. It is gentle mastery. To focus on yourself means you must take full responsibility for your attention. What you give attention to, you feed. What you focus on, you grow. The question is not whether you are powerful. The question is, where is your power being directed? Are you using your focus to create or to react? Are you controlling your mind, or is your mind controlling you? Discipline is the daily, deliberate training of your attention. It is the inner eye turning away from distraction and back toward presence. And it begins now. The mind is like a wild horse. Imagine the mind as a powerful, untrained horse. It runs in every direction, pulled by impulses, fears, desires, and habits. It does not wait for your permission. It chases every sound. It panics at every shadow. But what happens when this horse is trained? It becomes a force of immense grace and strength. It carries you, not into chaos, but toward clarity. Mental discipline is the reins. You are not here to kill the horse. You are here to guide it. You are here to ride it with calm authority. You cannot quiet your mind by fighting it. You calm it by leading it. And leadership begins with one simple skill: intentional focus, the art of directing attention. Your attention is your most valuable currency. Spend it wisely. Every moment, your mind wants to wander. It wants to relive the past, predict the future, judge others, criticize yourself, or distract itself with noise. This is not your fault. It is simply how the mind was conditioned. But with awareness, you can interrupt this habit. And with discipline, you can rewire it. Begin by noticing where your attention goes when you are not watching. Does it drift toward comparison, toward resentment, toward anxiety? Simply observe. Then, gently but firmly, bring it back. Back to the breath, back to the body, back to the present, back to the task in front of you. This simple act, returning your attention again and again, is the core. Chapter 3. Mental discipline, training your inner eye. Awareness opens the door. Discipline walks you through it. You have begun to observe your thoughts. You are learning to detach from the automatic reactions of the mind. But now comes a deeper task. You must learn to train your focus, because without discipline, awareness flickers. Without discipline, the old patterns return. Mental discipline is not rigidity. It is not harsh control. It is gentle mastery. To focus on yourself means you must take full responsibility for your attention. What you give attention to, you feed. What you focus on, you grow. The question is not whether you are powerful. The question is, where is your power being directed? Are you using your focus to create or to react? Are you controlling your mind, or is your mind controlling you? Discipline is the daily, deliberate training of your attention. It is the inner eye turning away from distraction and back toward presence. And it begins Now, the mind is like a wild horse. Imagine the mind as a powerful, untrained horse. It runs in every direction, pulled by impulses, fears, desires, and habits. It does not wait for your permission. It chases every sound. It panics at every shadow. But what happens when this horse is trained? It becomes a force of immense grace and strength. It carries you not into chaos, but toward clarity. Mental discipline is the reins. You are not here to kill the horse. You are here to guide it. You are here to ride it with calm authority. You cannot quiet your mind by fighting it. You calm it by leading it. And leadership begins with one simple skill: intentional focus, the art of directing attention. Your attention is your most valuable currency. Spend it wisely. Every moment, your mind wants to wander. It wants to relive the past, predict the future, judge others, criticize yourself, or distract itself with noise. This is not your fault. It is simply how the mind was conditioned. But with awareness, you can interrupt this habit. And with discipline, you can rewire it. Begin by noticing where your attention goes when you are not watching. Does it drift toward comparison, toward resentment, toward anxiety? Simply observe. Then, gently but firmly bring it back. Back to the breath, back to the body, back to the present, back to the task in front of you. This simple act, returning your attention again and again, is the core. This simple act, returning your attention, is the core of mental discipline. Repetition builds strength. You don't become mentally strong overnight. Just as a muscle grows through repeated use, your focus grows through repetition. And just as your body becomes stronger through challenge, your mind becomes sharper every time it is tempted, and you return it to presence. Even if your mind wanders 100 times, return it 101. This is not failure. This is training. The more often you return, the easier it becomes. The more you return, the longer you stay. The longer you stay, the clearer you see. There is no wasted effort on this path. Every moment of refocusing is an act of power. Discipline is not harsh, it's loving. Many people fear the word discipline because it sounds severe, even punishing. But true discipline is not an act of violence against the self. It is an act of love. You discipline your attention because you care about your peace. You guide your focus because you respect your energy. You train your mind because you value your time. Undisciplined attention leads to mental exhaustion, emotional chaos, and spiritual stagnation. But disciplined focus creates inner order, and from inner order comes external transformation. Discipline is devotion to your highest self. So when your mind begins to wander, do not scold it. Smile gently and bring it back. Again and again. This is the way of the master. Practices to build mental discipline. Let us be practical now. Here are simple but powerful practices to begin training your inner eye. Single tasking. Choose one task each day to do with complete presence. No phone, no music, no multitasking. Just one thing, done well. Breath awareness. Spend 5 minutes a day doing nothing but watching your breath. When the mind wanders, gently return to the breath. Mental diet. Monitor what you consume. Are your inputs strengthening your mind or weakening it? Choose books, content, and conversations that elevate your clarity. Intentional thinking before letting your mind spiral into worry. Pause. Ask, is this thought helpful? Is it true? If not, gently return to something that is. Mental repetition. Pick one empowering affirmation or idea and repeat it throughout the day. Let it anchor your attention and overwrite your mental programming. Each of these practices builds the muscle of focus. They are simple, but not easy, because the world is designed to distract you. But you are learning to live from within. You are no longer ruled by reaction. You are led by intention, becoming the architect of your mind. With discipline, you become the builder of your own inner temple. You no longer let the mind wander wherever it pleases. You decide, you shape, you choose. The undisciplined mind is a noisy neighbor. The disciplined mind is a clear guide. You will still have unwanted thoughts. You will still feel difficult emotions, but now you know how to respond. You are no longer at their mercy. You can witness the storm, but stand unmoved. You can feel the pull of distraction, but stay grounded. You can experience fear, but act from power. This is what it means to focus on yourself until you win, not to eliminate difficulty, but to master your attention through it. Now that you are learning to train your focus, we must turn to an even more subtle mastery: your emotions. In Chapter 4, we will explore how to develop emotional sovereignty, the ability to feel everything but be ruled by nothing. Chapter 4, Emotional Sovereignty, Mastering Your Reactions. You are not free until you are emotionally sovereign. Sovereignty means self-rule. It means that your emotions are not running your life. You are. It means that you can feel deeply, that still act wisely. It means that you no longer hand your peace over to people, circumstances, or passing moods. Focusing on yourself is not just about the mind, it is about the heart. And your heart is powerful, but power without sovereignty can become chaos. You must learn to feel everything without being ruled by anything. Most people live in reaction. Something happens, and they respond automatically. Anger, jealousy, sadness, anxiety. Their emotions decide their behavior. They feel they have no control. But this is an illusion. The truth is, you do not choose your first emotional reaction, but you always choose your second. An emotion is energy. It rises, it moves, it speaks, but it does not make decisions. You do. Emotional sovereignty begins when you pause between feeling and response. When you learn to say, yes, I feel this, but I am not this. You are not your anger. You are not your sadness. You are not your jealousy or fear. These emotions pass through you. They are not your identity. Many people misunderstand emotional mastery. They think it means controlling, suppressing, or denying their feelings. But this only leads to repression, and repression creates pressure. Eventually, that pressure explodes, often in the wrong direction. You cannot master what you avoid. To become sovereign, you must be honest about what you feel. You must make space for the full range of emotion, not to indulge it, not to drown in it, but to witness it, to feel it fully, to hear what it wants to say, and then to act from wisdom, not from reaction. If sadness comes, let it speak. If anger rises, listen to its cause. If fear shows up, acknowledge it gently. Do not pretend. Do not bypass. Do not shame your own heart. Emotional sovereignty is not emotional numbness. It is emotional clarity. Reaction is habit, not destiny. You were not born reactive. You were trained to react. Somewhere along the way, your nervous system learned certain patterns, certain triggers, certain roles, and they became automatic. You may find yourself snapping in anger, shutting down in stress, or seeking approval in anxiety. These reactions feel like just the way I am, but they are not who you are. They are who you learned to be. And what is learned can be unlearned. The moment you begin to observe your reactions, you interrupt them. And when you interrupt them, you create choice. And when you have choice, you have power. Every time you choose not to react, but to respond with clarity, you rewire your emotional system slowly. You become free. The key to emotional sovereignty is the inner pause. This is the sacred space between emotion and action. It is the moment where you take a breath instead of lashing out. The moment where you step back instead of spiraling forward. The moment where you ask, what is the wisest response here? This pause is not weakness. It is strength. It is leadership. It is maturity. And it must be practiced daily, patiently, repeatedly. Here's how to build it. 1. Breathe before responding. When a strong emotion arises, don't speak, don't move. Breathe first. Let the energy settle. 2. Name the emotion. Simply naming what you feel, this is anger or this is shame, creates separation. It reminds you that you are not the emotion. 3. Choose your action consciously. Ask yourself, does this reaction serve me? Does it align with who I want to be? Choose what aligns, not what erupts. 4. Reflect after the moment passes. Every emotional moment is a teacher. Look back. What triggered it? What belief did it touch? What can you learn? This is how you become emotionally sovereign. Not overnight, but over time. Your emotions are messengers, not masters. Every emotion carries a message, but that message is not always what you think. Anger might be protecting a wound. Sadness might be asking you to rest. Anxiety might be showing you where you've left the present. When you listen, without obeying, emotions begin to cooperate. They no longer demand, they inform. You begin to understand that emotions are energy. Energy is movement, and you are the director of that movement. When anger comes, you can choose to channel it into boundaries. When sadness arrives, you can choose to use it for introspection. When fear appears, you can choose to see it as a guide toward growth. You are no longer reacting blindly. You are responding wisely. That is the difference between chaos and sovereignty. Protecting your emotional energy. To stay sovereign, you must also protect your emotional field. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not every situation requires your emotional investment. You must learn to say, "This is not mine to carry." Let go of the need to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Let go of the urge to fix everything outside yourself. Let go of the emotional entanglement with things you cannot control. You are not obligated to absorb every emotion that touches you. You are not required to attend every argument you're invited to. You are not responsible for managing others' reactions. Emotional sovereignty is knowing the difference between what you feel and what you take on. You are the safe space. The ultimate goal is this: to become the safe space you've always needed, not by building walls, not by hardening yourself, but by standing rooted in your own center, calm, clear, whole, so that no matter what emotion rises within or around you, you do not abandon yourself. You stay, you breathe, you choose, and in that choice, you win. This is how the sovereign lives. Not above emotion, but through it, with grace, with mastery, with presence. Now that you are emotionally sovereign, it is time to dive deeper. Beneath every pattern, every reaction, and every habit lies a hidden force, your subconscious programming. In Chapter 5, we will uncover the beliefs that shape your life and learn how to rewire them from the inside out. Chapter 5, Inner Programming, Rewriting the Beliefs that Hold You Back. You are not shaped by the world. You are shaped by what you believe about the world. More than anything else, your life reflects your subconscious programming. This is the invisible code, beneath your thoughts, beneath your emotions, beneath your actions. You can try to change your behavior. You can try to think more positively. But until you address what is written in your subconscious, nothing truly transforms. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You rise, or fall, to the level of your subconscious beliefs. To focus on yourself deeply and permanently, you must re-enter the root system. You must locate and rewire the programming that's been running your life. What is programming? Your subconscious mind is not evil. It is not weak. It is simply obedient. From the moment you were born, your subconscious began recording. Every word you heard, every reaction you witnessed, every belief passed down to you by parents, teachers, culture, media. It absorbed, without filter, without question, without resistance. And from these repeated inputs, a pattern formed. That pattern became belief. That belief became identity. That identity became behavior. This is your inner programming. Some of it serves you. Some of it destroys you silently, but none of it is permanent. The beliefs beneath the surface. Let's go deeper now. Under every persistent struggle in your life, there is usually a hidden belief. And that belief is often so subtle, so normal, that you don't even know it's there. You might believe, I'm not enough. Success must be earned through suffering. Love is conditional. I must stay small to be accepted. People will leave if I speak my truth. I don't deserve rest unless I've earned it. These beliefs do not shout. They whisper quietly, repeatedly, and their repetition creates reality. If you believe success is dangerous, you will sabotage your own progress. If you believe you are unworthy, you will attract relationships that reflect that. If you believe life is hard, you will unconsciously seek out struggle. It is not fate, it is programming. The power of recognition. Change begins with recognition. You cannot rewire a belief you have not identified. So, begin by watching your life, not just at the surface, but as a reflection. Ask yourself, where do I always feel stuck? What keeps repeating in my relationships, my finances, my choices? What do I believe must be true for this pattern to keep existing? Be honest, be curious, be kind. You are not blaming yourself. You are taking responsibility. You are not finding fault, you are finding the root. Remember, the subconscious cannot change what the conscious mind will not confront. Rewriting the code. Once you find the belief, you begin the reprogramming. This is not about simply thinking positive thoughts. The subconscious doesn't respond to force. It responds to repetition, feeling, and consistency. Here is the process. Identify the old belief, write it down. Be precise. Name the sentence that has lived in your system. I don't deserve success. I'm always abandoned. Money is bad. Challenge it. Ask yourself, is this absolutely true? Where did it come from? Is it based on fact or just repeated influence? Who taught me this? Replace it intentionally. Create a new belief stated positively and clearly. I am worthy of effortless success. I am supported in healthy relationships. Money flows to me as I serve others. Repeat with emotion. Say it daily, with feeling, with imagination. See it, feel it, embody it. The subconscious learns through vivid emotional repetition. Act from the new code. Begin taking small, consistent actions that align with your new belief. The more your behavior matches your new programming, the faster it becomes your default. This is not magic. This is neuroplasticity. It is the science of changing your internal wiring. And it works. The role of the subconscious in manifestation. Your subconscious does not know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. That is why visualization is so powerful. When you picture yourself succeeding, the subconscious begins building new pathways. When you rehearse new emotions, confidence, peace, worthiness, it begins creating new reference points. The subconscious speaks in images and emotion. Feed it both, intentionally. Imagine yourself free of fear. See yourself walking boldly. Feel yourself radiating calm. Let that version of you become the new normal. You don't get what you want. You get what you believe is normal. Change your normal and your life must follow. Watch for resistance. As you begin to rewrite your inner code, expect resistance. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because you're doing it right. The subconscious is loyal to what is familiar, even if it's painful. So when you affirm something new, the old code may push back. That's not true. That's not who you are. This is a sign. The old programming is being challenged. Don't panic. Don't stop. Simply observe. Say gently, "Thank you for trying to protect me, but I choose a new truth now." And repeat again and again. You are the programmer. The greatest truth of all, you are not the program, you are the programmer. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are simply a mind being rewired. And the one doing the rewiring is you. This is the deepest focus, not just shifting your mood or mindset, but changing the blueprint of your inner world. When the code changes, the results change. When you shift your beliefs, you shift your reality. You are not here to fix yourself. You are here to free yourself. You've begun the work of inner reprogramming. Now comes the question, how do you stay focused on yourself every day without losing momentum? In Chapter 6, we'll explore how to build sustained self-focus through daily habits, boundaries, and intentional living. Chapter 6. Sustained self-focus, building unshakable inner habits. Transformation is not a single event. It is a decision made daily, repeatedly, and silently. By now, you understand the importance of silencing the noise, observing your mind, training your attention, mastering your emotions, and rewriting your inner programming. You've begun to return to yourself in powerful ways. But one question remains. Can you stay there? Many people glimpse clarity, but fall back into chaos. They touch stillness, but return to distraction. They start rewiring their beliefs, but lose themselves in old patterns after a few days. This is not because they are weak. It is because they lack systems of self-focus. To truly focus on yourself until you win, you must build inner habits that anchor you. Daily rituals, internal boundaries, mental hygiene. You need more than insight, you need structure. Focus is not just a state, it is a system. The myth of motivation. Let's be clear, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. It rises in bursts and fades in moments. If you rely on feeling motivated to focus on yourself, you will fail. What you need is not motivation. What you need is commitment. Commitment is a quiet, unshakable decision. No matter how I feel today, I return to myself. Some days, your mind will resist. Some days, the world will pull at you. Some days, the old programming will whisper, "Why bother?" And on those days, habits save you. Routines hold you. Discipline carries you. Across the threshold of resistance, it's not about perfection. It's about returning. Again and again, until returning becomes your way of being. Build an inner framework. Here's what sustained self-focus looks like. Morning grounding. Begin each day with the world. Before reaching for your phone, take 5 minutes in silence. Breathe, write, pray, stretch. Whatever connects you inward, do it. This sets your nervous system to respond, not react. Focused intention. Ask yourself, what am I choosing to focus on today? Choose one area of inner growth, one belief, one mindset, one feeling you want to reinforce. Carry it with you all day. Mental hygiene. Just as you clean your body, clean your mind. Notice mental clutter. Let go of old stories. Speak new truths to yourself. Guard your inputs. Protect your peace. Boundaries with distractions. Create time blocks where you are unreachable. Turn off notifications. Say no to things that dilute your focus. Learn to distinguish between what is urgent and what is important. Evening integration. At day's end, return inward. Reflect, what did I learn? Where did I lose focus? What can I do differently tomorrow? This is not self-judgment, it is self-awareness. These simple structures, they become a container for your energy. Without them, your focus leaks. With them, you become unshakable. Self-focus is not isolation. Focusing on yourself does not mean cutting yourself off from the world. It means engaging with the world from a place of alignment. You are not running away, you are running toward your center. From that center, you can show up more fully for your work, for your relationships, for your vision. But first, you must stop making everyone else's needs more important than your own clarity. You cannot pour from an empty mind. You cannot lead from a scattered heart. You cannot grow if you are constantly distracted. Sustained focus is not selfish. It is the foundation of selfless contribution. Guarding your energy. Energy is your most precious resource. It determines your thoughts, actions, decisions, and direction. Every conversation, every distraction, every negative loop in your head costs energy. You must begin to treat your attention like gold. Before you say yes to anything, ask, does this serve my focus or does it scatter it? This includes who you allow into your space, what you tolerate from yourself, how you spend your downtime, what you let into your mind. Create inner boundaries, not walls, but filters. Let what nourishes you in, let what drains you go. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not everyone deserves your explanation. Not every thought deserves your belief. Choose your energy like you choose your food, with care. Momentum through consistency. The secret to lasting focus is consistency, not speed, not intensity, just simple, steady repetition. It is better to do 10 minutes of inner work every day than to binge on 1 hour once a month. It is better to speak one truth to yourself daily than to read 10 books and forget them. Consistency creates momentum. Consistency creates momentum. Momentum builds trust, and self-trust is the foundation of all transformation. Show up for yourself daily, especially when it's hard, especially when no one sees, especially when it feels like nothing is changing. Because something is changing. Quietly, deeply, permanently. Return as a lifestyle. There is no finish line to self-focus, no destination where you arrive. This is not a race, it is a relationship with yourself. Some days you will feel clear, some days you will feel lost. The difference between those who transform and those who don't is simple. The ones who transform return. Return to the breath, return to the truth, return to the center. They return, not because they are perfect, but because they are committed. Let that be your way. Let returning be your lifestyle. Design your inner life. The final shift is this: stop living by default. Start living by design. Design your mental space, design your emotional routines, design your focus, your energy, your beliefs. You are not a passive participant in life. You are the architect of your inner world. And when the inner world is structured, the outer world follows. So ask yourself, what is the inner life I am building? What rituals support it? What beliefs nourish it? What distractions must I release? Then, each day, take one step, however small, in alignment with that design. This is sustained self-focus. This is how you win. You've done the inner work, you've returned to yourself. Now comes the final chapter, living aligned, where you step fully into the world, with clarity, with power, with peace, and manifest a life that reflects your inner truth. Chapter 7, Living Aligned. Manifesting a life from within. What good is inner clarity if you don't live it? What is the value of self-focus if it never translates into how you walk through the world? Make choices, speak, build, and love. The final step of transformation is this: alignment. Alignment is when your inner world and outer life match. When your thoughts, words, actions, and energy flow in the same direction. When you no longer live from reaction, from fear, from pretense, but from truth. Living aligned means your life becomes a reflection of the person you've become inside. You no longer chase things out of lack. You no longer say yes out of guilt. You no longer abandon your truth for comfort. Instead, you begin to live on your terms, not for ego, but from essence. And when you do, your world changes. Alignment is integrity to the soul. Most people confuse alignment with perfection. But alignment is not about always being right. It is about being true. When you are aligned, you feel whole, even when life is messy. You speak your truth, even when it's uncomfortable. You make choices that match your deepest knowing, not your momentary fear. You stop living to impress. You stop moving out of obligation. You stop shrinking to fit spaces that cannot hold you. You no longer need to prove. You are grounded in your own knowing. And that knowing becomes your compass, living from the inside out. When you are focused inward, the outside world becomes less intimidating. You no longer need the world to agree with you in order to act. You no longer need the world to praise you in order to feel worthy. You no longer need perfect conditions in order to move forward. You have built something stronger within. From this place, you create, not to escape life, but to express it. You love, not to get something, but because it overflows. You serve, not for validation, but from abundance. You are no longer chasing, you are choosing. You are no longer waiting, you are walking. This is what it means to manifest a life from within. You manifest what you are. Manifestation is not about scripting, wishing, or controlling the universe. It is about alignment. The world responds not to what you want, but to who you are being. If you are peace, you create peace. If you are power, you generate opportunities. If you are love, you experience deeper relationships. To manifest is to radiate. To radiate is to align. And alignment is the natural result of deep self-focus. When your beliefs, your habits, your energy, and your vision all point in the same direction, life begins to rearrange itself to match that frequency. You don't chase, you attract. You don't force, you allow. You don't hustle, you align. Alignment requires courage. Living aligned is not always easy. It may require ending things that no longer serve you, letting go of identities that once kept you safe, saying no when it would be easier to stay quiet. But every time you choose alignment over approval, you strengthen your soul. Every time you speak your truth, even when your voice shakes, you reclaim your power. Every time you take a step in the direction of your authentic path, no matter how uncertain, you signal to the universe, I am ready to live as who I really am. And life responds. Opportunities align, people shift, peace returns, not because the world changed, but because you did. The 5 pillars of aligned living. Let's make this clear and actionable. Living aligned can be built on 5 simple pillars. Clarity. Know who you are and what you value. Keep asking. Keep refining. Clarity is the compass. Consistency. Align your daily actions with your inner truths. Let your habits reflect your highest vision. Boundaries. Protect your time, energy, and attention. Say no to what misaligns, without apology. Presence. Stay in the moment. The mind will try to pull you into the past or future. Return. Presence is power. Responsibility. Own your life. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your path. These are not rules. They are practices. Practices that, when lived, create a life that feels like you. Not a copy, not a mask, not a compromise, but the real, whole, rooted you. When the inner matches the outer, the deepest satisfaction in life is not success by someone else's standard. It is waking up and realizing, I am living the life that reflects my soul, not just in your work, but in how you speak, how you move, how you love, how you choose. That is what it means to focus on yourself until you win. Not to win against others, but to win against your former self. To stop betraying your knowing. To stop abandoning your intuition. To stop living small, reactive, scattered. You are no longer that version of you. You are new. You are aligned. You are here. This is just the beginning. This book is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of your return. You will still be tested. You will still drift at times. But now, you know how to return. To silence, to observation, to discipline, to sovereignty, to belief, to habit, to alignment. You know the path. You are the path. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait. You are already enough. You are already worthy. You are already home. So, go live it, fully, quietly, powerfully. Focus on you until you win.